Hello. Well, welcome to my channel, 2 Minutes to Freedom. I guess we're going to go a bit longer than 2 minutes today, but that's okay. This will be my first ever, I wouldn't say first. I did a test run yesterday for about a minute. Just kind of seeing if I want to do any of those little shorts that they do nowadays, little minute things. But then that'd be like 1 minute to freedom. So, yeah, we'll see. Uh, um, so I don't know. I might do a live stream every Friday or every Saturday. Um, I think that might be a good thing. People can interact with me and put down in the chat, and we can answer questions if you guys got questions. Just kind of let you know uh, what I'm about and why I do the channel. Again, um, so my history kind of goes, I mean, we could. How many often do we just tell a story when we're talking to people? That I grew up here and I went to school and I got married, and I got this job, and we kind of sanitize our history, and we don't really go tell the depths of what happened. If you looked at my story on the surface, I became a Christian when I was 16. I had a good family, went to college, went to a Christian college, got married after that. I ran cross country as a PE major, and got married, had 2 kids. We ended up doing foster care and adopted a third kid, a daughter, out of foster care. I worked a good job. Uh, Now I'm retired. My kids are gone, and we're kind of trying to get on the road a little bit to do some traveling and do life coaching. And I mean, it sounds all sanitary, but really, everybody has a true story, I think, and that's what um, I'm trying to let you know. Maybe I'll let you know about my story. Um, I had basically I came out of sexual addiction, uh, and that was stemmed from a lot of pain and hurt, stuff that happened in childhood. So, really, when you get down to it, my story started really. I was about 9 and a half. Well, I came home one. My brother and I were home for basically it was the end of the school day, end of the school year, I should say. It was a Friday, in June, and my grandfather had came to our house over where we lived, and which had never happened. I would say this is like, wow, Grandpa, what are you showing up here for? Uh, and he wanted to take my older brother and I. This is 2 of us in the family. Um, Back to the family ranch and spend a week there. It's like, yay, I mean, this was like excitement. This is like never, not that I've never been there, but just for Grandpa to come pick us up and want us to be there for a week was like, yeah. So my dad said, yeah. And I heard him say stuff like, how's she doing? And he said, you okay. And that went right over my head. I'm 9 and a half. I don't understand what he's talking about. But it was about a 45-minute drive to the family ranch, just south of Hollister, California. And we got there a little before 10 o'clock. And I remember when we got into the door of the house, my grandmother came out of the kitchen to greet us, and she was like blitzed drunk. I'd never seen Grandma drunk, and it scared me. It scared my brother and I. We both talked about it as we went to bed. My grandpa was yelling at her, Margaret, get to your room, and just shoving her into her bedroom, and her speech was slurring and just I'd never seen that. It just scared me. I learned from my aunts later on that she was a binge drinker. Used to every 2 to 3 months she would just get drunk like that due to her childhood. She was a kind of a kind of foster care a bit in some families that we knew, or at least my dad knew. Um, and So to deal with her pain, because my great grandmother was in and out of the insane asylum, I could tell you some stories about that one of these days. Some of the stuff she said, but it was hard for her, and so that's how she dealt with her pain. And the next day when we got up, my grandfather had me call my parents up. You got to understand, this is like well before 911 and all the modern phones that we have nowadays. No cell phones, obviously, back then. And my grandfather had to go into town to he was the president of the Farm Bureau, and my grandmother was still passed out, I guess. And my uncle who lived up in the house that I was born in, which is just right almost next to their house. He wasn't married at the time, and he was working for Almaden Winery. And my great uncle, who owned the telephone company in the area, we're not talking like AT&T. We're talking like two phone companies for all San Bernardino County, south part of it, and maybe 1,000 to 1,200 customers total. So yeah, we're not talking big things, but he was out working, the lines, and his wife, my great aunt Martha, was in shopping, and so my brother and I decided to go down to the river because the San Benito River flowed right through the middle of the ranch. No, I'm not talking about, we're not talking the Nile here. We're talking a small little river. You can usually wade in it up to your knees, and when it's, and it would go down to a trickle, by the end of summer. But this is being late spring, right start of summer. Papa had it into a culvert going funneled down, and the road went over it back to the back part of the orchards, and the water was coming down hard and swirling and causing a strong eddy and a deep pool there. And so we just thought we'd just play in the shallows. My grandmother came down a little bit later, drunk still, and wanted to stay. Shows how well she could swim. And we begged her not to. Don't get in, Grandma. It's okay. We believe you. And she still got in, and she got caught in that eddy and just kept getting dunked under and dunked under. And I got to say, my brother and I, we're not big men. We're never were big kids. I was always like the smallest in my class. And we couldn't get her out. We tried. We almost got pulled in a couple times. I was scared. We knew we had to get help, so we climbed up the muddy bank. I can still remember looking back down to the side and watching Grandma pass out and turn over on her back. I knew it was too late at that point. But we still ran 150 yards, 170 yards, whatever it is, up to the house in muddy shoes. And it's a good thing that Grandpa showed me how to call my mom. I called her up. I was just frantic and scared. And they said, Mom, Grandma drowned, Grandma drowning. And we had to stand outside, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, 25 minutes until somebody came by to watch us. And then my uncle got there, and he ran on down there, and he got her out of the stream, I guess. And then the fire department got there, and it was like deep, deep trauma. A lot of stuff came out of that. Beliefs, negative beliefs. And I can remember when the funeral came, I can look right, I can still recall it. I looked to the left down the pew, and I could see my dad, my uncle, and then my grandfather next to them, and none of them were crying. None of them. And it taught me something. You just don't feel your emotions like that. You don't cry. You don't grieve like that. And I never grieved. I didn't grieve. Not then, at least. I buried it down, and then you learn stuff like, oh, masturbation feels good, all like that. And then my dad had porn next to his bed, so I learned that. And so that became my way of numbing the pain. I didn't know I had the pain there. It was just come up, I just numb it down. Didn't even know. Other things that come up, failed relationships or whatever, girls I like that never happened, I just numb it down. So I learned really not to feel strong emotions. I could feel some, but it would just lead me to act out more, when this would happen. That's my means of acting out, was that way. became a Christian not before I got 16, and it's like, well, I know that this is not right, you know. But so that just made me want to stop, you know. But it was on my own strength. It would bear down, but when the pain got high enough, I would binge, you know. Like my grandmother binge drink. Well, I went to porn for binge porning, you know. Then I'd be discussing myself. That shame, addiction cycle would start. And then I'd bear down. I'm not going to ever do this again. But then when the pain got up there and the trigger, you know, you went right to that. Just like people go to drinking, people go to drugs, people go because the cycles go like that. You know, and I got married. You think, oh yeah, well I went to Christian college first. You know, no, I'll stop there. No, I binged there. I got married, and you know, I binged, and then I went for a while without doing that, without doing porn, but I never stopped like masturbating because that was a way of relief. And you know, it'd come up, and then I'd just lie it down because that's what you do. You lie about it because you don't know how to deal with it. You don't want to deal with it. And so my, you know, I was 39 years old, and my dad and his aunts, always my dad and my aunts, his sisters were writing emails in a family email about stories that happened on the ranch. So I decided to tell them what happened about grandma. I never told anybody. And I got halfway through that and I started crying. I mean, just crying, sobbing. You know, I can still feel the emotions. I felt like I was 9.5 years old because you know what? I was. Emotionally, that's where I stopped growing. 9.5. And, but you know what? You think, okay, I grieved it, yay. But you know what? I still didn't have anything there, nobody there for me, nothing there, no structure, nothing there to help me deal with it, to walk through that. And so actually the porn and then binging got worse, started accelerating. And we moved, and then, you know, the job I had, and then it came out, you know, and then, so we got some counseling, but I still didn't have a group there. And so I stopped to put internet protection on the computer. And, you know, it is pretty effective for stopping that, but I still was searching to get it. And so I was downloading it at work. Never a good thing to do, obviously. And finally got caught. And I ended up eventually losing my job from that. It was a good job, too. And I ended up losing that. And that led me to really get some serious counseling to learn why, the hurts and the pains, and to get into a recovery group of like-minded men that helped show me that porn was not the problem, porn was the answer. Now, hear me out now. I don't mean that was a good answer, but it was an answer. It was a way to heal the pain. It's just, this is done in an unhealthy way. And so they helped me to learn how to deal with my pain and my stuff that came up in a healthy way. You know, and I did this for years in a group, and I led small groups and did a lot of research and did a lot of self and discovery into, learned a lot about myself. And from that, I'm naturally a teacher. You know, I serve other people, but I'm a teacher. I've shown things, and then I know how to get across to other people concepts and stuff to teach. And this, and then I decided, you know, after doing a yard business for a while, that I'm going to go into life coaching. So I'm building up this life coaching business. And with that, but I wanted to help guys who are going through addiction recovery, give you tools. That's why this channel exists, so that I can give tools for you to have, to hold, encouragement. Things you can go back to and say, yeah, I resonate with that. Yeah, that gives me hope. You know, stuff that you can use to, wow, I got courage, I got to do this. Okay, there is no really easy way out of this, but if I just have courage and I strength and I break out of passivity and I work towards freedom, that it can be done. Other people have done it, and you can do it too. You know, and so that's what I want, just to impart truth, hope, some of my experiences, a bit of encouragement maybe with everything that would help you to work towards freedom in your life. And what I've learned about freedom is that, and I'm a Christian, so I read the Bible, and we learn that we love the Lord with all our heart, and our soul, and our mind, and we learn that because without God to love us, we kind of learn our identity, that we're His children, that He loves us, that we are loved by a Father. Even though your earthly father may have been crap, my dad wasn't that bad of a man. He just didn't know how to teach me really emotions all that well. But he took care of me, and he loves me, and so he did the best that he could. But really, the only perfect father we have is up in heaven. So we learn our identity through that. But it also says that we love our neighbor as ourselves. Nobody wants to go love their neighbor, but then that becomes just works. And I've talked about expectations in work, and you never know if you've done enough. Because, so you really can't really feel love with that. But if you love yourself, if you work on everything that you're supposed to work on, if you do the healing and the grieving and the reconciliations and the forgiveness and going after your dreams, pursuing things, and just becoming alive inside and breaking out of those walls and that passivity, and you keep going that direction, you don't instantly love yourself, but you get to the point where I've stopped hating myself, at least. Okay, well, I kind of like myself after a while. And wow, I kind of really like the way things are going, and I heal on stuff, and I've gotten rid of expectations and expectations upon myself, and you finally get to a point where you love the direction that you're going, and then you love yourself at that point. It's a process that comes along. We always think that we're instantaneous. We want to be the McDonald's generation or the microwave generation where everything, bing, bing, we're there, but that's just not how life is. It's a growth. But I tell you, once you get there and you cross that line and keep on going that direction, you can love yourself, then truly you can give out of the abundance of what you have. You see, we're these vessels that are broken. We broke ourselves is what we've done. And so when we love and stuff comes in there, it just all pours out the bottom. But, we put the shards back in place. We forgiveness, reconciliation, we healing, we grieve, we go after dreams that we've lost. And we patch all those holes, pretty soon that vessel can hold that water, that love that we need. And then when God begins to pour into us and it fills it up, now that our vessel's full, we're able to pour out into those around us, into our wives, our kids, our friends, our neighbors. We're able to actually love them as ourself because we love ourselves at that point. Anything short of that, and you're having to suck life out of those around you to fill that pot, the vessel of who you are, you have to suck life into you rather than give life out of you. And so that's why we didn't want, you still got to learn how to do that type of stuff, but you have to learn to love yourself. You've got to do all the little work it takes, the healing, everything. Like I said, forgiveness, reconciliation, grieving, going after dreams, coming alive. All those are little healing points to that vessel that's broken, and you mend it. And that's what I want. That's what I want men to do, is to find clues, to find little tips, little tricks, little things that'll help push them towards mending those vessels. Those broken vessels are what you are. And that's what I want to channel. That's what I want to do with the life coaching that I do. Is I don't tell you what to do. I'm not a mentor. I'm not a counselor. But I can draw out of you and say, oh, wow, I can ask right questions knowing what addiction does to you and what the thought processes is. Like, where'd that thought come from? Oh, let's explore that. Wow. Tell me when that first happened. Oh, wow. So you had this happen to you when you were 9 years old or 8 years old or 12. And you made this vow or you made this belief to guard that little boy or little girl, whoever it is. Is that needed now? Is that still true now? That type of stuff comes up. That's what life coaching can do, is have you start thinking about this stuff and what are your beliefs? What are your dreams? What's holding you back? What's stopping you from doing this? And it gets you to come up with your You think of what your dreams are. You're the expert in your life. I'm not the expert on your life. You are. But it helps you refine and focus that expertise. You learn really who you are, what you want, and how to go about approaching getting that need and that desire met in a healthy way, not going to unhealthy habits. How to pursue your dreams, to help you pursue your dreams, you know, and achieve your goals. When you come up with an action step, it's your action step, not mine. I'm not going to give you anything. I'll help you decide, you know, you got three choices. Which one do you want? Which one makes sense? And then maybe discuss with you how deeply you are committed to that. If you're not, then let's just go find something that you are deeply committed to, and get you thinking. That's what life coaching does. It empowers you to become the best you that you can with your own ideas, your own solutions, your own empowerment. I just ask the right questions and help you come to that self-actualization that you need. And what um, that's really what 2 Minutes to Freedom is all about, and what Yoke Breakers Coaching, which is what I do, is all about. It's helping you really achieve your dreams. And so, if you want to ever contact me, using the description box, you can leave a comment, or you can contact me through my email address, which is going to be in there. Or you can go to my website, sign up for coaching if you'd like. I'm available, not going anywhere, and I love what I do. And so I don't see any comments or questions down below here. So I'm going to go ahead and end this here in just a second. And again, leave some comments down below. What do you want to see on future live streams? What do you want me to talk about? What would you like to hear? What problems are you going through? Is there something that you're really struggling with that you want to get some victory on? Leave a comment. I'll read it throughout the week, and I will come up with a good live stream for next week that might address some of those issues. I'm here to help you guys. I've been there. It's rough, but it's doable. I've done it. I've got friends that have done it. We spur each other on to good works, to good things. It is possible to overcome that. Whatever addiction you've been in, but just it met your need. It just did it in a lousy way. But I'm telling you, there are positive ways to meet those needs that are more powerful than the addiction that you came through. To know and be known by other men and other women is very, very powerful. So again, leave some comments. What do you want to see? What do you want to hear? I'll just write something up and talk about something next week. But, I want to be here for you guys. That's really what I want to be here for. So I want to hear those comments. I want to read them. I want to meet that. And I want to be able to meet you guys where you're at, where your needs are at. Because that's the only way you're going to get better, is to be empowered and have the tools to be empowered. And that's what I want. I want to help give you tools. So anyways, again, I'm Tim Bryan of Yoke Breakers Coaching. And this is 2 Minutes to Freedom. And I will be releasing some new videos every couple days, like I always do. But you can talk to me in my live stream next Friday. All right. Have a good day.